Hi, this is Dr. Ralph Wilson with Web Marketing Today. I'm in San Jose at the Search Engine Strategies Conference and talking with Dave Evans, who is an expert in the area of social media. You've just published a book in that field. What's the name of the book?
The book is Social Media Marketing, an Hour a Day.
All right. So I want to talk with you about this question of how to manage the conversation in social media. Mm-hmm. And this is making an assumption that there ought to be a conversation, and we'll get into that as we talk about it.
Sure.
So what are the aspects of managing this conversation?
I think that the first thing to understand in this concept of managing a conversation on the social web is that we really don't manage the conversation. What we manage is our participation in the conversation.
Okay.
Or we manage the experiences that we create that themselves drive the conversation.
But I like to control things.
Well, this is the wrong space for that.
Okay. So can I guide it somehow?
Absolutely. This whole notion of control, I think if we look at the past 50 years of media, not a positive or negative, it was sort of a fact of the dynamics of talk only media, right? Mm-hmm. of interrupted media and so on, is this whole notion that we can create the conversation, we can control the conversation, we can control the message. As brand marketers, we spend hours, weeks, months vexing over specific words and and so on, so that we get the message just right.
So understand that you can't control the conversation. Mm-hmm. What's the next point in managing or relating to this conversation?
It's really understanding what it is that we do as a product, service, the experiences that we create that drive the conversations in the first place. The social web turns out to be a fantastic place to listen and understand what it is that we're doing that's causing the conversation, whether it's positive or negative. I mean, we create some great experiences. People love that. We create poor experiences.
And this is something relatively new where you're able to hear the customer's voice.
It's new in the sense that, it's digital, and so more people are connected to it, right? Mm-hmm. We've got that dynamic. But it's also new in the sense that we can actually listen, go back, do research, whereas even 10 years ago, certainly 20 years ago, any time along in there, where in order to get this conversation, you'd literally have to bring customers to you, whether it's in a focus group or something like that, or you'd have to be there when they were saying it. Mm-hmm. Now, we can go mine the entire social web and sort of see conversations that we would have had no access to. We can use that information, we can gather and dissect that information.
So you're starting to listen. Rather than treating this as a one-way conversation, you're starting to listen so you can respond.
Absolutely. The important thing to understand is consumers are talking to each other. For them, this is a two-way conversation, meaning all sides are talking, right? However many people are involved. From a marketer's perspective, that's an important development because it now allows us a voice with customers directly if we choose to interact in that way. Mm-hmm. If we choose to talk at customers, it's not nearly as successful. They're not nearly as receptive to that kind of conversation. So
we can't control, but we can listen and then make changes to our business process based on what we're listening to.
Exactly. For small and medium-sized businesses, I mean, there's great techniques when it comes to understanding what people are saying about you. And for a small business, the conversations may be relatively light, but on the other hand, if you look at your business and businesses like it, or look at your competitors and so on, you can generally pull enough information together that you can start to get some insights into how things work. So for example, if we see a customer service team or a customer service representative who's motivated, for example, to produce a high volume of calls, we can expect one kind of customer experience, and we'll see the impact of that on the social web. If on the other hand, if our entire focus is on creating customer satisfaction, what Gene Bliss calls becoming a beloved company, right? Mm-hmm. and those kinds of things, we'll see a distinctly different kind of conversation. Those are management processes. So whether it's a single entrepreneur, whether it's a 10-person or 50-person company, whether it's a group of real estate agents, whoever it happens to be, the way that we choose to go about running our business in terms of the touch points between us and our customers, between our business and our customers, those are the things that are going to drive the conversations. We can monitor, pick up, listen to, respond to, become part of those conversations, and therefore learn how what we're doing is creating those conversations. If they're positive, we keep going. If they're negative, we look to process change.
And as you make changes, the assumption is you're going to have more positive conversations than before.
If we're truly listening and we're truly understanding what's going on, yes. If we listen for only what we want to hear, we may very well reinforce the negative conversations that are occurring.
Well, thanks for sharing with us about this fascinating subject. Tell me about you and your business and what you do.
In my business, I serve typically as a strategic advisor, either directly with a brand or more than half the time with other firms, other companies, PR agencies, digital agencies, and so on, that are looking to develop a digital practice, looking to develop a social media practice. Mm-hmm. And so I work with them on this whole conversation of understanding the business connection to social media. Very often, agencies, and so on, are very used to dealing with the Marcom side of the house, but they're not so comfortable with the COO. My background is product management, and so it's really that operations component that I bring into social media, and which drives this whole idea of process change and so on, impacting the conversation. And
you're an author on ClickZ that I learned from, so thanks for sharing with us in that way.
You bet.
That's great.
Fred, thank you.
This is Ralph Wilson with Web Marketing Today.